Yeah. The Alpha Podcast is brought to you by Rich by Rick Ross. Barber-approved luxurious formulas will make your hair and beard soft, shiny, and nourished. Suitable for all hair and beard types. You gotta have the game if you want to get the work. Boss up, Rich by Rick Ross. Yeah. What up, guys? It's Alpha.
It's Nija.
It's Matt Vanzetti.
Yeah, and this is
The
Alpha Podcast.
Y'all want to thank you guys for listening. This is DSU Edition. We get into the end of the week right now where it's finals and everything like that. And Nigel, you already did like 2 finals. So just tell us a little bit how that went. So what's up?
They were easy.
Easy for you?
I have 6 tests this week.
Yep. 6 tests.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really because you cheated, huh?
Shut up. Bye.
You feel me?
I know he cheated.
Oh, wait, come in the camera real quick. Come in the Oh, he got what?
Look.
Uh-huh.
She used my check, so
She used your check.
I did not. Oh.
You used your check out here?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
I'm trying to share this Sunday. You supposed to be in church. She's like, "What's your Quizlet?"
Wow. Oh, on Sunday. You hit it up before. You already had this planned out.
It was premeditated.
Premeditated,
Why are you coming down here, first of all?
Okay. What about you, Mr. Matt Vanzetti?
Yo, before I say anything, shout out to Chegg and Quizlet.
Oh, you be using it?
I swear to God, they be helping me. They save my ass 90% of the time.
90%.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
And on which subject is this?
Well, shit. Fucking when it comes to like shit. What was the last thing I used for that? I would say business. I was using that when I was a business major, like a lot. Like that was helping me out.
Major no more?
No. I'm a music industry major now.
Music
that
industry.
sounds cool.
Yeah, that must be fun though.
Oh,
music
yeah.
industry.
Is that tied into mass comm?
That's tied into actually music. So it's just music and music industry. They're just both tied together. Like I have to take music classes, like what's it called? Theory, music theory, and like ear training and shit like that, which I fucking hate. But yeah, I gotta take shit like that.
Damn. I like music industry. I want to get into that a little bit just because I was like, I want to play a role into the background a little bit, but still be in the forefront. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's get into you because you're also a rapper.
Yes.
You're also a rapper. Would you just signify yourself as a rapper, or
I would say, you know what? I would signify myself as a rapper more than anything. Okay. But I also produce records as well. I produce a good bulk of my last project, Code Red, that just came out in February. Yeah. So
we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah. So I like to be on all facets of the music that I put out, whether that be from the vocals, that be from the lyrics. I like to play a big role in how sonically it's going to sound.
Yeah.
And
let me fix your mic real quick.
Oh yeah.
Just so
and
you're not struggling.
Yeah, and I definitely like to produce for other artists as well. Okay. I been producing recently for some R&B artists, for some singers. So yeah, just like I would say more
some singers too.
Yeah. For some more recently, I've been trying to get at the kind of pocket that I've been in, because I grew up with a more so, I would say, aggressive hip hop background. Before I became the hip hop head that I am now, I was really just like a dusty old head for some reason. I don't know why.
Old school
I was like the white Joe Budden. I don't know why, but yeah. So
also growing up in Phoenix.
Yeah, growing up in Phoenix. Down there, it's just like a lot of, I would say, a lot of good hip hop comes out of Phoenix. I don't know if you guys ever heard of. I'm forgetting the name, but there's a group that's coming out of Phoenix, and Injury Reserve. That's what the group, and they're from Phoenix, and their shit is crazy though. And
they like rap.
They rap. It's 2 rappers and a producer. And there's just some dope shit coming out of Phoenix, and I just want to say there's some dope shit coming out of Dover as well. Dover, Delaware in general. There's a lot of dope artists coming out of Delaware.
Okay.
And
hold on. So wait, let me just stop you real quick. I want to get into more of Phoenix. Let's talk about Phoenix real quick, just because that's where
you don't
from.
want to talk about Delaware?
He not from Delaware. He not from. So I want to talk about Phoenix. Where you from? Tell me about your background, growing up as a child and stuff like that. Just where you came from, real quick.
Well, I moved out to Arizona when I was 8 years old with my family. It was me, my mother, and my sister. And my father at the time. And then, there was some tumultuous things with my father. You could hear more about it on my music. But it ended up being just me, my mother, and my sister. And we moved out of the house we were in because of, financial troubles. And we moved out to Phoenix, Arizona, because we lived in this place called Queen Creek. And we moved out to Phoenix when I was a little bit older, and that was really what molded me my teenage years, being out. And I went to this high school called Crestview, and it was in really more of a rundown area in Phoenix. I didn't live in the most terrible place, but where I went to school, there was gangbangers, there was shit like that. So it was it gave me a perspective on things of how fortunate I was, even though I was in those money troubles and predicaments. It was it gave me perspective on things, and yeah, Phoenix, Arizona is, as much as I didn't like it when I was there, looking back on it, it was they got a lot of dope shit coming out of Phoenix.
So tell me, what type of kid was you in Phoenix, though? Was you a shy guy what?
Yeah, I was a shy person.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a shy person, but it was more so because I didn't really know my place. It was I was trying to find my fit. So it was music was always there for me. I liked creating music, but I didn't think I was gonna do it for professional, on a professional basis. But once I was hip hop is all I fucking breathe.
What was the first hip hop record you got?
The first hip hop record I listened to was Grandmaster Flash and the Sugar Hill Gang. And
These Are the Breaks. Not that one?
Not that one. It was I forget. It was like a collaborative
the Breaks,
record.
Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it that one? They got a song with The Breaks.
Yeah, but it was a whole album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a whole album, and it was just you
got the whole album.
Yeah, it was a compilation album between Grandmaster Flash and the Sugar Hill Gang and their collaborative efforts and stuff like that.
So you started early.
Yeah,
I like that.
Because I honestly, the first record that I took from my parents' collection. My father had that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
your pops was into hip hop heavy.
He was more so rock and roll, old rock and roll. But he respected hip hop. The first time I ever got introduced to hip hop was when I was 3-4 years old, and I don't know why the fuck he showed me this record at 3 or 4, but it was a Slim Shady LP by Eminem.
They gave him Eminem.
Yeah, and at 3 or 4.
Eminem,
yeah, that's one of my favorite.
Yeah,
rappers,
so
actually.
and he ended up growing to be my favorite rapper. And it was more so because that was after Grandmaster Flash, that was the second record that he had that was hip hop, and I don't know why, but I always was drawn to hip hop whenever it was on the radio. I would ask my mom to keep it, So yeah, Slim Shady LP, that was the first record that I would say what the fuck am I listening to? Yo, this is crazy.
That's crazy.
And especially coming off of Grandmaster Flash, you went from that to some lyrical onslaught shit, this zany fucking character rapping. It sounded like
flow crazy.
Yeah, it sounded like a cartoon character if it rapped.
It did that want to kind of make you mimic yourself off of
Yeah. It was my first records coming out, and even some of the records that come out now, you could tell the Eminem influence. But when I first came out, I was an Eminem clone. I don't know. Yeah, it was just it wasn't even me doing it on purpose. It was the influence that I had. I was really just inspired by Eminem, and at the time it was a guy named Wax. He was really popular on YouTube at one time, and then
wait, hold on. Nija, you can excuse us a little bit. I know you got something to do.
I do.
Okay, hold on. But I just
sorry,
didn't want to.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't want to stop you. But okay, keep going though.
But at the time I was just like, she gonna just slide off.
Slide it out here. Just
Don't want to be in the scene, okay?
Okay.
See, that's what I was scared of doing.
Okay, you good.
The Jets.
So let me ask you this before you even continue.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is your mom and your pops, they like white or
I'm 100% Italian.
Italian?
Yeah.
Italian.
So
So you won't mix that into like Caucasian, being Caucasian.
I don't personally, but I'm pale as
People would
shit.
kinda put that
Yeah.
in
So I mean, like, not to get off topic, but there's if you look into Italian history, Italians didn't get called Caucasian until it didn't benefit Caucasians. Mexicans weren't considered they were considered white back and forth in the 30s and 40s. Like, they would change from Caucasian to, oh, now you're Mexican. So like when they could use them. So after they couldn't use Italians anymore, that's when they put them as Caucasian.
Oh.
Yeah. So
wow.
that didn't happen until like the 60s, 70s. So it's like once
Give me a little bit of history.
Yeah.
Now. Okay.
And like there's a lot of dark history if you look into Italians in America.
Yeah.
A lot of racism. So for me personally, I see them as a different subset.
Yeah.
Like, but I look white, so I am white.
So how you? Some may consider you a Caucasian. That's what I was gonna ask. Some may consider you a Caucasian rapper. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering how you feel about that a little bit. Do you adapt to, or you just be like you announce that in your music? Like,
I don't really talk about it in the sense of my music, except for like I have a new album coming out in the summer. I'm shooting for the summer, but I have a line on there that's like people really fuck with me. This is not the actual quote, but people say they fuck with my music, but until they find out that I'm Caucasian, then they're like, they don't want to fuck with me. Like there's multiple people that were like, oh, he's dope as shit, but I can't fuck with him because of his appearance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you coming into a kind of like black.
Yeah, I know what.
Base,
Yeah, I know what
genre a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was wondering. I was about to ask you what's some of the difficulties about being white or being Italian in a black.
I would say, well, first off, I know what I got myself into. Yeah. It was like, but I love hip hop so fucking much. Yeah. Like that's really what molded me as a person. That's what really gave me the confidence to even get out of my shell. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I felt like it was my duty to say my story. And it's not even coming from like, oh, I'm a Caucasian person, so you hear my story. It's like I had these set of challenges, and I just wanted to put them on paper, and people started fucking with them. So it's just, I would say the challenges are more so in the perspective of not getting the respect that I know I'm dope. I know I'm a dope artist, and I know I'm a dope rapper, but people are very privy to not want to admit it. They're gonna because they're like, oh, you don't look like the stereotypical quote unquote rapper. Yeah. So we gotta
get into one of your songs too. But I want to say, do you worry about being considered a culture vulture or anything like that? Because some of these people that get into this business, you feel me?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't worry about that because I know for a fact I'm not. Okay. Because I love hip hop to my very core. And I want to, I pay homage to all the people that molded me.
Yeah. Obviously, from what I've seen, you already know about the Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm literally, under this, I'm wearing a Prime. It's the group DJ Premier and Royce the 5'9".
Yeah.
Like, they're a big influence on me, too. And it's like,
Royce the 5'9".
Yeah. So, like...
A lot of Eminem ties.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I kind of like. That's where the basis of hip hop for me started, and then I branched out like here, and then like I was introduced to Kendrick, Isaiah Rashad, Ab Soul, J Rock, Jay Z. You know, so it was like from there. It was just that's where it started, and it just branched out from there. But I would say I'm not worried about that. I'm sure people are going to accuse me of it just because the way I look. Yeah. So it is what it is. People are going to do that, and they have every right to say what they feel. Right. But I know when I'm not. Right. So like
when I was listening to some of your records, it definitely gave me the Eminem vibes. I'm like, okay, the flow a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay. But then I'm also hearing a little bit of the bars in there, which you feel me? So
yeah.
The influence of,
I would say in the respect of because I have had people come up to me and say I do sound like Eminem, and to respect, I can understand what they're saying. You know, I'm influenced by him. But
do you feel upset in a way, or
I feel I would say I would feel a little disappointed that that's what like the first thing they're going to. I don't know. Is it because I'm Caucasian that the first thing they think of is Eminem? Okay. Or is it because I actually sound like him? You know, so those are thoughts that come into my mind, and it's like it also. I mean, I'm not gonna take that as something negative. I'll be like, okay, my next record, I'll try to.
But you can also see comparison as a good thing. Like, yo, he's one of the greats.
Yeah. I mean, he is one of the greats. So, but it's like also like when you're a Caucasian artist, you don't want to immediately be like, oh, he sounds exactly like Eminem, or he sounds like whatever. You know, you want to create your own pocket.
Okay. You want to be yourself.
I want to be myself because when I make music, I hear myself. You know what I mean? Right. It's hard to hear, I hear Eminem when I rap, you know? So I would say when it comes to that, it's just my influences are going to show to some respect. Yeah. But I have a wide variety of influences, you know?
Because you also said, you feel me, in the beginning, you was straight out the gate, you was kind of like, I'm kind of mimicking Eminem a little bit. Yeah. So how did you get out of that to get into your own type of sound?
I mean, it was just growing up, having my own experiences, learning what different sides of hip hop are, how I could talk about my own experience in a unique and different way. Because, you know, after, like I said, like branching out and finding different artists that I really fucked with, like Kendrick Lamar, who has more of a, I would say, poetic and conceptual aspect to him. Finding that, getting inspired off of him to make full projects and having a whole theme to it. And people like Royce, who may have that Eminem tie, but he has his whole completely different style. Right. And then you have people like J. Cole, who I'm highly influenced by. Just finding different people and different artists that I felt like were sonically just different than their peers. You know what I mean? And to be honest, like a lot of the influence for this last project, I wanted to find a different wave of like style with lyrical hip hop and like how Denzel Curry is like he's a lyricist, but he's also like a hype lyricist. You know what I mean? I kind of wanted to fit myself in that pocket.
Denzel Curry. Okay.
Yeah, like Denzel is a big influence for me. Yeah. So
do you feel like when you listening to all these people and like you say influencing, you got an influence from them, do you feel the thing of sometimes you kind of get mixed up of when you listening to certain people, I'm kind of like sounding like them a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta stop myself. Like, say if I think of a certain line, I'm like, this sounds a little too much like a J. Cole type thing. So let me chill back on it and cut this off. So yeah, sometimes I gotta stop myself, but I think that's every artist when they listen to, you know, all these different types of rappers and different albums, because I listen to a lot of albums over the span of a year.
Yeah, because I heard that from DMX. DMX said that he was like, I don't listen to these niggas, because once you start listening to them, you start sounding. You go into the studio,
but at the same time, it's just you got to keep your finger on the culture. Because you got to keep yourself in tune to what's going on. Because if you don't know, how are you going to fit your own music into it? You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
but then there's certain people that don't want to fit in with the culture. They make their own music for their own path, fans. Yeah, because they know those. They have a core fan that would ride with the music they make. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think that's more so with established artists. Like you
have people like also who. Tyler the Creator. He not really following he has his own core fan base. That's not really you feel me, even before he even got established. You feel me? And they bring it into the gate. You feel me? You become established by the people that make you in that position.
I would say like with Tyler, like you could tell the Eminem influence in the beginning of his career, and then he started making his own path. Like with Flower Boy sounds like nothing in his discography. You know what I mean? So it goes to show like he had some influence in the beginning. He was probably listening to a lot of different rappers at the time, and then he kind of probably branched out and just listened to.
And that's what you're doing.
Right now. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. Like this next project, it doesn't sound anything like my last one. So I'm just trying to find different ways I could fit myself into, say sonically, the new type of waves that are coming.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have to?
No, I don't think I have to, but I choose to do it because I like changing. I like experimenting with styles. I like experimenting with different sounds. But at the same time, it's like I'm not straying too far away of why people fuck with me right now. You know what I mean?
Okay. So why would you say people fuck with you right now? Like,
I believe people fuck with me right now because sonically I make good music, and at the same time there's a lyrical aspect of there's density in my lyricism, and at the same time you could tell what I'm saying is genuine. Like you could tell the stories that I'm stating to you about, you know, having to limp to the store to buy a pencil and a notebook so I could write lyrics after shit happened with my father. Like I talk about experiences that happened to me.
And you talk about that in Cold Red?
The album. Yeah, I speak about that in Cold Red.
So I just want to get into that a little bit about Cold Red. Let's get into that. Talk about are you open to talk about some of the stuff going on with your pops and everything?
Yeah, I'm open to it.
So just give him a brief until we get into some of the songs too.
Okay. Well, my father, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And he started out as a very, I would say, calmer person. But as his age went on, like it started to really deteriorate him mentally, to the point where he was abusive with like my family, right? So without going too much in depth with it, you know, I had to stop talking to him because of my own issues that was going on when I was at a young age. Me developing like different types of like stress and whatever. So, you know, I talk about that a lot of my music, just more so because it's one of those things that just, you know, when you're a kid, if it affects you when like the person that's supposed to be there for you is the one causing the harm to you, you know? So, you know, so, I mean, I talk about that. I talk about the issues that I had with money growing up, having a single parent. You know, her struggles as well, and just my reality, trying to using hip hop as a coping mechanism. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's usually what you feel me. That's how a lot of rappers started out. You feel me? Going through the struggle and having to have a outweigh. You feel me? You feel me? But I wanted to ask you this too. Since you talked about your dad, kind of having bipolar disorder, do you ever fear of do you ever have a fear of yourself even?
Oh, that's a
getting
major
there?
fear. Yeah, that's a major fear. And I even talk about that in my music.
Right.
It's like, there was I had a project, my first like project. I don't really call it that.
Okay.
It was kind of me just dipping my feet.
And what was that called?
It was called No Control. I had a couple songs on there dealing with like there was a song called This Road, and it was talking about what I want out of life and my fear out of life.
Yeah.
The first verse is what I wanted. And the second verse was me being like, oh, I'll end up like this. I'll end up without a family.
Right.
I'll end up, deteriorated from a mental illness. Like it was like trying to go from the yin and yang of what life could be. You know what I mean? So, I
kind of what you scared of not of happening and what you don't want happening.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And that's what I really go for. I did conceptual songs less on Code Red just because I wanted to focus really on making good songs with a good subject matter and, dense lyricism at the same time, not trying to exclude good storytelling.
That's the key.
Yeah. So I was trying to find a good balance on everything.
Mm-hmm. And when did you learn that those were the type of stuff you had to put inside the music?
I think it was after I dropped my first project, No Control. It was like I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to do it, if that made any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I had to find out what people want to hear, what I want to hear out of a project, and what I want to put into a project. So it was like trying to balance out all those things,
Yeah. Okay. So you had to balance. So when you was making your first tape, what did you ever feel like? Oh, I'm just talking to talk, like I'm just saying stuff, but it's not.
Yes. There was part of that.
Yeah. Because Wayne had the storytelling on lock. You feel me?
Yeah.
And definitely Eminem too had the storytelling on lock. Like he would tell a whole story through the records. Feel like you there with him. You feel me? So you knew that's what kind of caught people.
Yeah, I knew what caught people, but I think I was too deep into my own influences to really make a project that kind of fit its own style and its own merit.
Yeah.
Without really knowing, like I said, what people wanted, what I wanted. Mm-hmm. It was more so, like I said, me dipping my feet into the water, and actually, it was me throwing shit at the wall trying to see what sticks, and it was like, I didn't know what was gonna stick, and it was basically just me doing that, and I just kind of took the L of what I felt didn't work and what did work, and just building on top of that.
Were you selling those records too? You were selling them?
I was not selling it. It was more so, I think,
just giving it out?
I think I just literally just put it on Dat Piff and YouTube, and
promoting it,
and just promoted it a little and see what happened. And just nothing really happened of it. And I had to really just look back on it and be like, okay, so what did I do wrong? What could I do better? And how could I improve from here? So it was basically just me going through the trials and tribulations of actually working or like creating a project and, being an artist, because as a small artist, you're your own A&R, your own manager.
Were you getting feedback from people too?
I was getting feedback from people. Yeah. And
how was it?
It was okay.
Okay.
Like it was people saying it was dope, but they wouldn't go further. Yeah. And then you would have people that just, wouldn't say anything. Right, so it was like I kind of had to figure a lot of it out. Do you hear the
difference with this one?
Oh, yeah.
You see? Oh, okay.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I definitely hear the difference. Like, it's night and day. It's night and day, without a doubt. Like,
which one of your... Oh, no, keep going.
Oh, no. To be honest, it's night and day without a doubt, because, like, you could hear just not only the maturity, the sense of perspective, everything is tighter. There's, like, different flows on there that are potent. compared to the other project where I was just literally rapping until I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you caught those times.
Yeah.
Nah, because even when I was rapping for the first time, you feel me? That's something I had to deal with. Where I got all this in my head. I'm trying to get it out, and I'm trying to say it with one run through. You know what I mean? Like, and you just hear the.
And then you end up sounding like Busta Rhymes on the "Look at Me Now" verse.
Yeah.
Where you have
You feel me? I can know definitely. It's been many times where I had to. Yeah, I'm scrapping this one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's get into what's one of your favorite records on the tape?
Blood. Yeah, and that was produced by actually my girlfriend's father. He's a.
You got a girl.
Yeah, I got a girl.
You coming into the game with a girl. Okay.
Yeah, I coming into the game with a girl, and she one of those real ones, man. I gotta say, like she been there with me from the start of this project.
To follow the J. Cole path.
Yeah. I'm trying to follow the J. Cole path. I'm not out here. I'm not that type of artist to be out there like, partying it up. Like I really just make music and do my concerts, go home. You know,
just wait till the stardom comes.
Yeah, wait. I'm saying this now. I'm gonna end up like Charlie Sheen or some shit.
There's a lot of guys that say that right now, and you know once that thing hit, and you like, whoa, oh, this girl wasn't looking at me before the big body joint. You be like, let's give that a taste. You feel me? She probably gonna. Did you ever talk about that?
What, like stardom and like shit like that? Oh yeah, we talk about that all the time. Yeah, we talk about that all the time. It's like you gotta have your girl's gotta have as much, if not more, confidence than you, and more.
Right, that's a fact.
Just she's gotta trust you. Yeah. Like she's gotta trust you.
So has she given you like 2 passes? Like, okay, you cheat 2 times, and then after that is a dub for that.
Nah, she ain't say that yet.
She ain't give you the passes yet.
No.
Damn.
But yeah, like this the record Blood. It was produced by my girlfriend's father, and he's
he's a producer too.
Yeah, he's a producer. He was a rapper at one time. He actually had his own collective in like the 90s and early 2000s. Yeah, he if you got I don't know if anybody's gonna know, but Hellaware Records, he was the one who produced that, and he basically was doing a lot of stuff for Delaware in the late 90s, early 2000s, really trying to put Delaware on the map. He had a club out here at one point.
He was doing some things. I like
that. Yeah, he's originally from Atlanta.
That's crazy how you even met with her to get in contact.
Yeah, it was that
connection.
To be honest, like I'm not like the biggest like person with God and shit like that, but it's like some things
it's connected,
you know.
Yeah.
So like he's been affiliated with people, Bone Thugs, just a bunch of Atlanta artists. He's met Titty Boy. He's like 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
So he's met a bunch of artists in the Atlanta area. And he made a name for himself at one point. So yeah, he helped me on this record, and he's gonna be producing the bulk of my next record.
Okay, so let's get into Blood right now. I just want the people to hear it real quick. Hold on. Blood, produced by who again? What's his name?
Psych the Element.
Psych the Element. Okay.
When your palms are sweating, but got an empty wallet. You got no direction, the safe and normal guarded. Gotta keep that passion, show them that you a problem. Feed your family with cash, they said you couldn't acquire. If you ain't thinking you the king, then what the fuck you in hip-hop for?
Hold on, my bad. but just that's just a little thing. I also, you was hearing a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
I mean, yeah, I can see why people see it. You know what I mean? It's also,
You heard me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear the influence.
Yeah.
Oh, you said you can hear it a little bit?
Yeah,
The Eminem influence?
Like he was vibing.
Yeah.
He was vibing, but I hear the influence.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
foundation. Like,
Wait, come right here, Sheem. I'm gonna give you the mic so you could just talk from right here. Wait, just come get this mic. You could be over here then. You won't be in the camera though. Just we just want to hear you real quick. Okay. He not in the camera, right? He not in the camera. Okay. So yeah. Word.
Yeah, check 1 2 1 2.
Okay, we got him on. We got him on. Okay, word. So took your took.
Nah. I can hear the influence in your music. Like I heard the little clip. I was like, okay, because I grew up on like Eminem. You know what I mean? And the pain and stuff he expressing it. Now I didn't experience all that.
Yeah.
I was a kid from the ghetto, Brooklyn, New York. You know what I mean? So, but I really used to just listen to him when I used to go to wrestling meets and stuff. He gave me an influence. Like,
Yeah.
Like to go hard or whatever like that. Like I felt his pain a little bit, you could say. But I didn't have the same, problems. Like I didn't suffer from, abuse and all that.
And that's a little bit of the reason too of why I, fucked with M is because I could relate to some of the shit he was talking about.
That's how you feel it. That's how most people be feeling it. You know what I mean?
And it wasn't even to the sense of like, oh shit, I got a fucked up baby moms and shit like that. I wasn't from a trailer park or anything like that. But like from the shit that he was saying, I could, it really connected. And I was talking to somebody today. It's like hip hop is such a crazy genre because you could have me, a 20-year-old Italian dude from fucking Arizona, vibing to the same track as a 16-year-old dude from Chirac. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like different experiences, different ways of connecting to the music. And
you can see how some of your stories is kind of familiar a little bit.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those older hip hop songs, especially Eminem, they just like were expressions of the inner city, poverty stricken. Yeah. He was just talking about his lifestyle, the trailer and all that, whatever like that. And, hip hop influenced by, an outlet for the youth in the city. Yeah. The Bronx, Brooklyn, everywhere, but that's where, it came from. But it was the kids that was going through the struggle, going through life, trying to make it happen. You know what I mean? Because
to be honest, at the point I was in Phoenix, like I could have easily ended up gangbanging or some shit like that.
Yeah, and
because I was around it. I was around it, and I mean, I was easily influenced. But hip hop kept a head on my shoulders. Where I had an
life a little bit.
It did. Hip hop did save my life, and I'll say that a million times on record. Because when it came down to it, it was something for me to have an outlet for when some people were like I knew people that resorted to drugs, people that, just like constantly were just zanned out and like fucked up. But, and they were in the same circles that I kind of was in. So it was like I could have easily ended up down a completely different path, if it wasn't for music and hip hop.
You feel me? So let's get into more of the record real quick.
Looking at high school is this best time of my life, my prime. Continue having strife, I'm fine if I have to rap till 55. Just someone has to lift me up to the stage and spit some bars. Just know I be more than fine, I be ecstatic knowing I've made a mark on a listener who may have felt like a prisoner. Essentially, I'm meant to be the best you've seen. That's when the heat, no getting weak. I'm mentally prepared to see respect from peers and veterans. I'm getting there, want all the beef, want all the smoke. Fuck your freaks, now let me eat. Yeah. When your palms are sweating, but got an empty wallet, you got no direction. The safe and normal guarded. Gotta keep that passion, show them that you a problem. Feed your family with cash, they said you couldn't acquire. Go red.
Okay. Yo, I want to ask you, what made you choose the cold red? Because
cold red thing.
Because I also seen a video where you kind of had on the bandana, the red bandana, so people can easily think of that as gangs, like a gangs type of
you perpetrating something.
You know what I mean?
Conflict, smoke on that.
Did you see the full video of the promo? Yeah. I was trying to do like something I was trying to make like. I try to do something different. Like I try to have comedy skits and shit like that to promote the project, and that was just some stupid ass shit. Like but the reason I picked Code Red is when I made the first song on the album was actually the first song that I made for the project. And it stuck with me because it was like I wanted to tell a story in the project. Like there's 2 skits in the project, and there's a bonus track that's the intro to the next project. So the whole idea of the project is going against, is kind of like the juxtaposition of the rapper, like literally the intro to the album is a skit of me about to die. Like me bleeding.
Yeah, I heard that.
Kind of representation of the album cover. It goes off of that. But it's like me in a crisis, like the rapper in the crisis.
And the first song you made was Red?
Code Red, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, that was the first song I made. So Code Red was going off of the idea of it's a crisis. And the album gets less aggressive as you listen to it. So the first song is Code Red, and it's like on some lyrical aggressive shit. Then it gets to Blood, which you heard, and it's more of a hyper type kind of song talking about trying to make it in hip hop. And then it just progressively gets calmer and calmer, and you get to a song called Code Yellow. That's the next track. So it went from Code Red to Code Yellow. Yellow's more of a neutral color, so it's just it's relaxing. So the initial idea was like, I'm in a crisis, and I'm, as the wounds of that crisis that happened starts healing, that's when the project gets less aggressive and less crisis, like the crisis is averted, and it's supposed to be a metaphor for the shit that I've gone through in my life. So it's like, it started out negative and aggressive in the household, and it's just been getting me in a better place as the time went on. And then that's when the bonus track, but also part of the album Paperwork starts, and that's for the next project.
That's good that you cleared that up, because some people could have that misconception that you perpetrating a gang lifestyle.
I'm definitely. I'll say it right now. I'm no fucking gang member.
Nah. You cleared it up. Well, I'm just saying,
you did good though.
Like Blood, Code Red, bandana. Oh, this white boy banging. That's what he said.
We see how those routes went.
Yeah, you see how that goes. For real. Hip hop is not what it used to be.
Right.
And for fame, not even for money, really. It's for fame. People will do just about anything. Portray something, be something that they're not. And then today's society allows you to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why, I'm glad he asked you about it and you cleared that up. Somebody might get the misconception like, and then you get into some type of, beef and mess yourself up prematurely.
Yeah.
Because people adding that in there like, you was doing this, you feel me? But luckily we got this right now for the people.
At the beginning, did you hate your voice? Did you hate your voice at the beginning when you first started?
When I first started, I hated my voice. I hated my voice.
Usually.
Yeah.
It was weird kind of even hearing it in the beginning. Was it? Was it weird
when I first started rapping? Yeah, because I'm like, I sound like a fucking prepubescent child. And like, I mean, when I first started out, I was a prepubescent child, but it was like, I had to kind of get used to my own voice. I had to find my own kind of rapping voice, for lack of a better term.
Right.
How I was going to approach the mic, how aggressive I was going to be, how not, how I was going to sound when I'm not aggressive. Like, you got to have those types of levels. Like, a good, I would say, example is Schoolboy Q. When he's on his gangbanging shit, he sounds like a fucking monster. Yeah. Like, he sounds aggressive as fuck. He sounds like he will eat your child. Like, he sounds that fucking aggressive, but then, like, he could rap also in a calm voice, and it still sounds, he could switch it up.
Right.
And I'm very influenced by artists that could change their tonality on each song and sound like a completely different artist. Like, on the song Code Red, I have more, almost a higher pitched voice. And then Blood, I have more of like, I would say, as you heard, it was more of like, I would say a hyper type voice. And then like on tracks like Fall Down, I use my regular speaking voice. So it's just like, I like switching it up. I like changing different ways I can approach the mic.
Damn. I like that. You feel me? You gotta have versatility. We gonna move on to oh yeah you stupid. We not gonna do oh nah they getting spicy right now just because we kind of reached the mark. But I just want to ask y'all some of the stuff that y'all think people do that y'all be like, oh yeah you stupid. You know what I mean? So do you have anything that you be looking at, like you be like, just even being a rapper, as even a white rapper, let's relate it to even that, like a Italian rapper, is there anything you face that you be like, oh yeah you stupid?
In what respect? Like what people say to me?
What people say. It could be what people say, or
what they do, how
they think. What you observe, like.
I would say, I don't even fucking know off the top of my dome, but I would say, oh, you know what? I'll say this. Just not even being a Caucasian rapper or whatever, just being a rapper in general. If you're an artist and you're just starting out, you got to get rid of your fucking ego. You got to get rid of your fucking ego quick, because you're not going to get anywhere if you don't have a team behind you and you're not bringing up other people around you. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with people on campus. It's just like, in general, like, you starting out with you doing this podcast thing. If you don't have other people around you that can help you, like you have somebody working your camera, you got people coming on as guests. If you don't have this, you're just a crazy person talking to a video screen. You know what I mean?
One man show, just trying to you doing too much a little bit. Yeah. Okay, that's understandable. Okay, what about you? What about you, Sheem?
I think when people stand here and take pictures, that's unnecessary.
People being a fan.
Say.
You you said paparazzi?
Say. Nah. I feel like, I look at the youth and I feel like the shit they do sometimes is unnecessary. Like,
okay.
People,
social media.
Yeah, like they put so much effort into like building this unnecessary brand.
Okay, yeah.
And they don't really know like what they get into. Like,
okay, so what you mean, like on social media they trying to live a life that is not.
Yeah, but like then when you see them in person, it's like, nigga, like.
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I can understand that.
It was big meeting online, nigga. What happened?
You feel me?
What's up with this airbag?
Oh, the airbag. Oh yeah, you stupid with the airbag in the crib.
I seen
a lot of bad joints be having that too.
Yeah,
they be Instagram famous.
Instagram famous.
Huh? Yeah, you feel me?
Facts. They ain't got no furniture, bro.
At all.
You know what I mean?
They just living day by day.
You feel me? She got that half empty roll of toilet paper in the bathroom. She talking about she popping. Facts.
They tell the niggas, pick me up from outside. You can't come in. Oh yeah, you stupid.
It's crazy. I mean, we can go all day about that.
They showing off their jewelry on Instagram. You go to the room and it's just a pillow and a blanket, no furniture.
You feel me? I said this before. You feel me? You see, your man's got it all. You be like, oh, hold on, bro. I just want to take a picture real quick. Let me just borrow the watch real quick. You feel me? Put the watch on, yeah. Do a little pose like you doing something. You know what I mean? The signature. Yeah, he's like, oh, you got the same one that Mark got.
or like shorty should be money hungry, right? She be hype, she be thirsty. But she'll be fucking with a nigga who got money and he ain't giving her shit.
At all.
Fucking this nigga for free.
You
like,
feel
what's
me?
wrong with you? You was just on
oh, you saying they gotta be like the city girls out here. You feel me? If they ain't paying you, it ain't with it.
Yeah, like you was just out here.
I'm dead.
Dude, but what I'm saying is
prostitution.
What I'm saying is what I'm saying is you being a female, girls be like, oh, he ain't got no car, he ain't got this, he ain't got that. But they'll go fuck with a nigga who got all that. But they're not on a receiving end of none of that.
Right.
That's stupid.
You don't got nothing for yourself.
Yeah.
What are you doing out here, really?
I can't even call you a hypocrite, you just dumb.
You just dumb. Oh yeah, you stupid, man. That's crazy. Okay, guys, we ending it off. I want to thank you guys for rocking us. Thank you, Sheem, for even coming on. Thanks for Matt. You feel me, with Cold Rad. You feel me? You got a great project. You feel me? I actually really like it. Even though just seeing little stuff here, I'll be trying to be hearing the little influence, but it's still dope. You feel me? And it's enough to even get you out there, have a great fan base. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I really like some of your records. So
I appreciate it, man. This is just a start. Code Red is just a start.
Yeah, and I love your story. I love your story. You feel me? Because you gotta have a story in this game. You can't just come on just saying anything. You feel me? Tell your story then in it. And just like you did, you mastered the process of having a story while on a record. You know what I mean? That's
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And keep taking the influences, learn the game.
Yeah.
You know, be a student always be a student.
Yeah.
And then like you'll come into yourself eventually.
Yeah.
You'll come into your own sound. Like even if you listen to, I like to use this example, like Rick Ross back in the day. You know, he was like, every day I'm hustling. It don't sound the same as the Rick Ross today.
Yeah.
You know, it's different. So you'll come in yourself, you'll grow.
Yeah.
And you know, into the rapper you aspire to be. You just gotta stay a student to the game. Learn how to maneuver, learn how to network. You know what I mean? And go like that.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, you feel me?
Yeah. 1-800 Icy Nigga Stunt Gang. We got him on here. Let's go.